Welcome, folks. Fred Bleak here again with Bill DeWeese, summing up the week, and it's Friday. So, Bill, tell us about your week.
I did $3,712 in business this
I
week.
I think you're going to be in the doghouse.
I think so too. But you have to keep in mind that Monday was a holiday,
Okay. Everything's forgiven now.
but it was also my biggest day of the week. It was a weird week.
Wow.
It was Monday and today were really big days. Everything else was dead. I mean, not completely dead, but really slow.
Okay, so if they were all slow, then how many auditions did you do Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday?
And
A
not a
lot.
lot. And let me tell you why. You may still be able to hear it. I've been pretty sick this week. Here in the Midwest, allergies have just the pollen count's been off the charts. My voice, I've got it back now, but Tuesday, Wednesday, and some yesterday I was struggling. So I was very glad not to have. Yeah. So I worked on. I had demo production. I had other things to work on, but I didn't do a lot of auditioning.
And now I saw that. Well, I saw, yeah, you did a demo job there. I saw that in the report. But now also, when you get like this, and we may have talked about this before, but what do you do to help yourself when you have this kind of a physical thing, ailment going on that hurts your voice?
There's no magic bullet that I found. I try to stay hydrated, get plenty of rest. I mean, I take decongestants because the problem is, and not to give too much information and be gross, but I mean, sinuses and drainage, it affects the vocal cords, and you wake
Yep.
up in the morning and you don't have a voice. So I just try to keep everything moving through and out, and that's really all you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's one of the things about this business is that you really, and I think we've talked about this before in other places, where if you make your living with your
Yeah.
voice, it's one of those things, and I think you told me this. You looked into insurance for
Yeah.
your voice, and it was just too expensive.
Well, it's very expensive. I wouldn't say it's too expensive. It's something I'm going to go back and revisit it, and I need to do that sooner rather than later.
I
I
would think,
know. Yeah,
yeah,
do as I say, not as I do, right? But it was pretty steep, as I recall.
yeah, because if you actually had to stop doing voice work, all your money would have to be made through info products, which would completely turn things around there.
Or what? There's any number of other. There are a few job openings here in town, but nothing
Yep.
I'd be particularly interested or
It,
qualified for.
it's just not your thing. So
Exactly.
tell us about Monday. That Monday was actually Labor Day and a holiday. So what happened then?
What's interesting is all the work came in through foreign clients because all my U.S. clients had the day off.
Right.
Um, and I did a commercial for the Canadian Automobile Association. I did some narration for a company called Kushtar. They own, I believe, restaurants. Um, I did a thing. I did a thing for KLM Jets. Are you familiar with the radio station K Earth in Los Angeles?
K Earth,
They're
I'm not.
they're the number one station in Los Angeles. I think they play oldies, classics, classic
Well,
hits.
I was from KFI, which is a talk station.
Okay.
Yes. So no.
Yeah. Well, anyhow, one of the radio personalities there, he and I were hired together to do a banter back and forth for it's a game trailer for KLM Jets, and you fly a paper airplane like through the city, and it's two guys. Whoa, look at that, Bob! Oh, he'll never recover from that roll. Things like that. So we had a blast doing it. Greg Sims is the guy's name. Great guy.
Yeah. So cool. Next time you're out here, you have to check in with
Oh,
him.
I definitely will. I did narration for Depends and it was actually based. It was, I think, the UK version
Uh,
of that company, Kimberly Clark.
do they use
Um,
the same? Do they use the same name there? Depends as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I did an explainer video, which is a new client out of Russia, and I booked that through voice123.com. So I did over $1,600 on Monday.
Now we should remind people that two things are going on here. They still have the opportunity, if they want to pick up the pay-to-play audio videos, I guess,
Right.
and also there's the narration demo. So put those up on the screen so people can see the links to those as well.
All righty. Yeah, a couple things you definitely want to have in your bag of tricks for voiceover.
Absolutely. Okay, so then what happened on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even though they were slow?
Not a lot. Tuesday, I just did a couple of things. Cisco one, sales training, and I did a line for an independent movie for a new client. It's just like literally a line, promotional thing, and that was a day. Actually, I sounded
How much
well,
did that pay?
oh, it's like $150.
Not bad.
It was for like an independent Christian film
Got it.
kind of thing. It wasn't a major blockbuster. Or if hopefully I would have gotten at least 200 if it was a major blockbuster. I'm surprised anybody hired me on Tuesday. I sounded horrendous. On Wednesday, I did a couple of training narration, one for PricewaterhouseCoopers, and the other is for something called Continia for Microsoft NAV. Again, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but...
Now, another thing, people might be worried that when they feel a little bit under the weather, or their voice is a little bit bad, they may refuse to do any work. You just motor right through it and let the client decide whether or not it's acceptable?
Yes, I try to communicate with the client. It's not like I'm trying to sneak something past them, but I know from experience, 9 times out of 10, they'll say, "Oh, you're fine." They always say it sounds worse to you than it does to us. But they're, like for instance, I think it was Wednesday, I had a client ask me to record something, and I said, "Oh man," I said, "I sound terrible today." And she said, "Well, just go ahead and record it anyhow if you don't mind." So I did, and she said, "Oh, perfect." So
Nice.
yeah, I did have one client though ask me to redo something. It was the Immaculate Heart Radio Network. They did ask me to re-record something.
Right. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. So that was that was Wednesday. Now Thursday things I got a little busier. I did some stuff for Hitachi. I did a little narration for a company called Vitamix. It's for cattle feed.
I know Vitamix, but it's now cow.
Oh, Vitamax, not Vitamix. Sorry, yeah. This is a totally different thing. This is cattle feed.
I don't use that in my smoothies, by the way.
That's good. Although this stuff sounds like it does some pretty good things to you. Who knows? You might want to check it out. Okay. More training for something called Intralinks as well. So that was my Thursday.
Got it.
And then today, I was a busy boy. I did promos for New Mexico PBS. I did a series of regional commercials. It's for one company, but they do these commercials that sound like newscasts. They're like 2-minute format, and so I did several of those. I did a direct response TV commercial for something called Hydro Shakers. It's some exercise thing with water in it. It's supposed to...
Yeah, sounds like it's got to be a shaker and a water.
A Hydro Shaker. And did some more narration for Hitachi, and I did some on-hold work for National Car Rental today, too. So I made like over $1,000 today.
Got it. And so, yeah, so it's one of those things where you started the week strong and then felt sick. Now, when did you start to feel sick? Was it on Monday?
No, it was Tuesday. When I woke up Tuesday, I hardly had a voice.
Right now, a lot of people call, they've got that stuff called throat coat, and people say lemon and honey and all that kind of stuff. You just drink black coffee, don't you?
Well, I do that, but I also, I've tried a few things. I've got Entertainer's Secret here, spray.
Oh.
I've got something called Seagate Olive Leaf throat spray in the studio.
Oh, gosh.
And I've been, doing this stuff. And when I get, sometimes I'll be reading and I'll just go into a coughing spell and I can't stop because of the irritation. And so this Seagate Olive Leaf, I found helps me for a few minutes and then it gets bad again, but it does coat. Okay,
so Seagate Olive Leaf, for those of you who are listening to the podcast and can't see this, where'd you pick that up? Is that
like a Walgreens, just a local?
Okay, so Seagate Olive Leaf, it says throat spray, homeopathic, raspberry spearmint, wild indigo. My God.
It does taste good.
It does.
As a matter of fact, I think I might have a little, and it feels good too, nice and slick.
So that actually, and what does that do to your throat?
It coats it a little bit. It stops the irritation. It doesn't give you your voice back. It just It lessens the irritation.
Like a little bit of oil in the engine too.
Yeah, exactly. A little lubrication there.
Got it. Okay. So any other brilliant life lessons learned this week that we may want to share with people?
Well, realize that come the big national holidays, your American clients probably won't be around, so that's why it's really helpful to have foreign clients.
Yep.
And as you could see, it took a while for even my U.S.-based clients to get back with a game. They were all still napping after their holiday on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Well,
so have a diversified portfolio. That's the takeaway this week.
Yes. Heavy barbecue consumption is my guess on their part.
I hope so for them, yeah.
Good. Well, okay. Well, sounds good to me. And folks, thank you for listening. And this is Fred Gleek along with Bill Dewey saying thank you for listening. And make sure and put a nice little thumbs up on the podcast and anything else you can do to say that you liked it.
Thanks, Fred.
Okay.